How to Live Your Perfect Life. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment coach, trainer, and author. Well, you might wonder if there is ever such a thing as your perfect life, but there really is, because the universe set it up to be perfect for us, and this is it right here. This is the creative process. It shows us that we come for experience, and from the experience we get clarity, identify what we want. Our inner being sets that up. And as our beliefs are supporting what we want, in alignment with what we want, our conscious thinking thoughts are tuned in alignment with what we want, that energy goes to the law of attraction. We receive the path of details in our daily life, wonderful path of details, and then the things that we want show up, and we have great satisfaction in that. And then after a while, we have natural contrast where we want things to be different or more. And that's the joy of life right there for everybody, equally for everybody. This is the joyous cycle of expansion that the universe set up. So you can see from this, there's in perfection, the perfection of the creative process is that there are unwanted things. And that's perfection, which is an odd definition based on the perfection that we have as a definition on planet Earth, because we have to have unwanted things to do the asking. And also from this cycle, you can see it's about each of us living our rich in our way. There's no definition of what the perfect life is in terms of material possessions or types of relationships or vocation or any of that. See, that's all about our natural gifts and talents and the ways we want to express and experience life. So this is a beautiful, perfect process of life, the joyous process of joyous expansion. And that's not the way that it typically is being lived, because we are wanting to get at these things. A lot of times we look at the perfect life as having all of these things, and to have them in peace, of course. Because if you have them and you don't have peace, well, then that's really not fulfilling anyway. But what we tend up growing up and thinking is that these are the things that will make our life fulfilling and represent the perfect life when we get all these things just exactly the way that we want them. And quite frankly, they're just a byproduct. We shouldn't even be focused on them in any way other than just the acknowledgement of the way we want them. We all want a different house. We all like to travel different vocation, because we get different gifts and talents, different friendships, relationships, material wealth. See, it's all different and unique for each one of us. That's the way perfect life is, and it's wonderful that it's that way, because then there's such a variety, right? There's no one way to live it. So this is perfect life, and that's what we want to get back to. But what happened? What happened that we're not living our perfect natural life of joyous expansion? Well, here's what happened, or here's what's happening. You see this piece? You see this? Look this image. One thing is different. I'm going to drill back right to the very root of this, because we got to get back here. We're not here. And here's what is going on is right now for the majority of people on the planet, there's a really fair bit of negative feeling thought energy going on versus the minor of the high vibration energy. Now it varies from person to person, and one person might have a little bit more of the positive. So, but really, it's fair to say, because we grew up with so many faulty beliefs, that the majority of the population work with more of faulty belief energy, negative feeling thought energy, than positive. And if you want to put that to the test, you just walk around and listen to the conversations that people are having, and you'll very quickly realize that is 100% true. And what happens when we're doing that, when we got that kind of energy going, that means that we are broadcasting to the law of attraction that lower vibration energy, and it's taking us oftentimes to the train wreck version of all those things that we want, rather than the enjoyable version that we want. So what happened that we got here? Why are we here with so much negative feeling thought energy going on in our consciousness? Well, here's what happened. Again, growing up, we come in with a blank. We have no beliefs coming in. Our subconscious mind is blank. And then we start getting influenced as we're growing up. That negative feeling, thought, energy influence is going on because the people around us are sharing all their faulty beliefs with us and giving us their points of view and perspective, which a lot of that comes from faulty information because we're typically not growing up with the creative process knowledge. So this is what happens, that we get into that a lot of that negative feeling, thought, patterning, and habit. And then what happens is, as we do that, we keep doing that growing up, then we end up with the faulty beliefs in our subconscious mind. So, and what they do is influence back to the conscious mind, and then the conscious mind thinks the same thing, and you can just see the cycle going on. So the momentum stays the same, and we're broadcasting from the conscious and subconscious minds that low vibration energy, and again, that's the train wreck version. Now, what's interesting here is most of the people on the planet, I feel comfortable to say that most of the people on the planet do not even understand that this is happening, that this is what's going on with their life, that their life is being ruled by the energy coming out of their subconscious beliefs and their thought patterns and habits. I even had a group meeting in the mastery group today, and we were talking about stories and the importance of stories and what stories we're telling and how we're changing our stories and that kind of thing. And even in listening to some of that conversation, people were not even aware of some of the little things that they were saying, the habits and the patterns that I was picking up. That we've just gotten so used to saying things and going along with it that we don't even know negative and limiting things that we're saying and keeping these stories going. And so, the effect of that is that, when you're broadcasting that energy and you don't know it, then you're essentially a puppet on a string, really. I mean, your subconscious beliefs, those faulty subconscious beliefs and the negative patterning in your conscious mind are literally controlling the way your life is manifesting. But if you don't understand this, it's very confusing about life for sure, to have things coming and into your life that you think, there's no way I want that in my life, right? And I didn't ask for that. I don't want that. And that's true. People don't physically ask for it. They don't even do anything, that they could identify that they're asking for it. They don't want it, that's for sure. Some of the really unpleasant things about life that happen in people's lives. But what they don't understand is they're broadcasting this energy, and it's law of attraction is just bringing it, and that's all there's to it. So we want to get off the puppet strings. We want to get our power back. And, the way that we do that is starting to recognize negative emotion is our alarm that we're doing this. Now, before I go into that, what I want to say is, again, we, instead of knowing this is going on and seeing our life around us not the way we want, we go back into the world and we're trying to get all these things. We're trying to figure out how to get them, how to make them happen and everything. And what we resort to is this kind of stuff. We try to do it through money. We try to do it through action, through hard work, through education. And it's not that hard work and education and money and action and all that. That could be done from a high vibration. But if you don't know the creative process and you're working from faulty beliefs, this stuff is being done from low vibration. And it makes for a rough ride through life. So let's carry on with what we do about this now, okay? So what we do about that is we recognize that negative emotion is a really good friend. And here's a really important thing, is that what we've thought, what we come to believe, is that negative emotion is just a normal thing that we think in certain situations. We don't even know that negative emotion is our alarm to tell us that our thoughts are out of alignment, right? They're out of alignment, and our beliefs are out of alignment. And so we're getting the alarm, but we're not paying attention to it because we're just thinking it's a normal thing. Oh, if this happens, it's normal to be angry. If this happens, it's normal to be depressed. If this happens, it's normal to be frustrated or bored or whatever it is. And you'll hear people say that all the time. Oh, yeah, it's normal to feel like that. Who wouldn't feel like that in that situation? A complete misunderstanding and lack of knowledge of the way that life works. And so what I'm making people aware of is, come on, let's pay attention to our emotions as the indicator that we got ourselves out of alignment, and our thought energy is literally blocking us from receiving the life that we want. And we got to get that out of the way. We got to get that cleaned up. So what do? Here it is. Here's the big thing. Here's really the big thing that I'm teaching is the cleanup of your conscious and subconscious mind. So when you start to feel those negative feeling thoughts, then you want a positive feeling script. You want a way to talk with yourself that's in alignment with the creative process. All the things that the creative process tells us. I'm not going to go into it in this video. I talk about it in other videos. It's in my book of life. But that knowledge of life, when you talk from that perspective, you can look at any situation and see how it's serving you. It's absolutely serving you 100%. So for a little while, as we're creating these new scripts, and just to give you a general summary is we would think a thought, we would say, well that thought is not true. It's a negative emotion, so the thought I'm thinking is not an accurate thought, doesn't agree with the creative process. And what is true about life in this situation is this, and you talk with yourself from that creative process perspective, and that will give you some emotional relief about that. And then you're ready, you're settled back down, and you realize, okay, everything's on track, everything is the way it's supposed to be. It's just right now I've been having some signals out to the law of attraction, that's negative energy, so I'm getting that back. So no big deal, I know what's going on, and what I really want is I'm going to start telling a new story. I'm going to start feeding the law of attraction a new story in this area, and this area, and this area. So we start to do that. But our faulty beliefs got a lot of momentum, and they're still broadcasting. So they're still dominant and creating the manifestations in our life. But it's okay because we know we're doing this work. And as we do it day after day, repeat, every time that negative feeling thought comes, what happens is we get back to natural. We get our subconscious mind beliefs in agreement with the creative process, and we have our conscious mind now freshly and newly patterned with thoughts that are in alignment. And so we're all back in alignment here. And now we're broadcasting from both places, high vibration energy. Law of attraction now is going to connect us with our dreams, because all of our energy, our daily energy on everything that we're thinking, it's positive emotion. It's in agreement with what we want, because that's all positive emotion. So now we go right back to the beginning, and we see that we're living our natural life. So if you want to get to your natural, perfect life where everything you want is flowing, and that doesn't mean things don't happen that you don't like, because that's contrast, and that's this part of the creative process. We can't pull that out. If you pull that out, there's no asking. If there's no asking, there's no creating, there's no expansion. So you just got to understand what contrast is. It's the celebration. And when you do that, then it's gold. Then you got your gold. And then you're okay with it, and you understand that it means expansion. So then you're looking at it, and you're thinking about it in positive feeling ways. You're appreciating the contrast. You know what it means. And you know what everything comes to you, what it means, where it came from. It came from mirroring your vibration. So you're able to talk with everything in a good feeling way, and you know that life is supporting you, and you know everything is set up to work out for you. And so you're never bothered and upset. You're just optimistic. You're expecting all the good to come to you. You're feeling very good about the path. Every day of your life, there's pieces of the path that come into your day from your high vibration. You receive those. And that's your perfect life. That's your perfect life. And it's going to be different for everybody because we're all unique. So don't be looking at other people's lives and thinking that, oh, that's the way to live life. When I live it like that, I'm going to have it made. I'm going to have the perfect life, because you're going to be sadly disappointed. Unless you identify that it is the kind of life that you really, really want and why it's serving you, then it's okay, right? Because there will be different lifestyles that a lot of us will live the same kind of lifestyle, but there is no one lifestyle that defines what a rich, perfect, successful life is. That's all internal to each one of us, and we want to identify that and then know that we're living in this creative process, and then we're living our perfect life. So if you want to live your perfect life, this is how you get back to it. Okay, that's the message for today. Thanks for listening in. If you have any questions, leave them on the post, and enjoy your day.